Hey everyone, it's Nenad and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to do a financial breakdown of if it's worth it to switch to an electric car over a gas-powered car. And now with gas prices obviously at an all-time high, a lot of people are thinking about switching to an electric vehicle. So this Excel sheet is going to do a really great job of breaking down all of the numbers for you, and it'll give you a good idea if it'll make sense for you to go with an electric car versus a gas-powered car. So in this first example, I'm doing a BMW 320i versus a Tesla Model 3. And the reason why I chose the 320i is because it's a similar price range to the Model 3. Obviously, if I'm, comparing a gas car that costs, half the price of an electric car, you're never going to save as much on electricity to make up that price difference. So I only try to make it fair. So I picked the 320i, which is a fairly popular car, and a lot of times they compare the 320i to the Model 3. So just really quick, I know this sheet might seem intimidating to some people, but I'm going to break it down for you guys, and it'll be really easy by the end to understand what is going on here. So just real quick, I'm here in California, and the average gas price is $5 a gallon here. The average miles driven here in the United States is 14,263 miles a year. Here in California, it's roughly 25 cents a kilowatt hour to charge. And years on the loan, I'm going to do 6 at a 4% interest rate. So now jumping into the vehicles, we'll start with the 320i. So you're getting roughly 436 miles on the 320i per tank. And at $5 a gallon, that's going to cost you $78 to go that many miles. So if you're traveling 14,263 miles a year, it's going to cost you $212.25 to drive that 14,000 miles. Now, if we move on to the Tesla long range, you can go 334 miles per charge, and this is just off the numbers on the website. Obviously, here in Southern California, we have more hills, so you're not getting as much range out of these cars or this many miles per tank. But I just wanted to make it simple and give you a rough idea of what to expect. So in order to go this 334 miles, it's going to cost you $20.50, which is per month, you're looking at $72.95. and $875 to go that 14,263 miles. Now with the standard range, it's going to cost you $66 a month and $801 a month to go that same 14,000 miles. So if you see here, you're saving roughly $139 on the standard range on gas and $145 with the long range and the standard range, you're at $145 savings a month. So obviously the electric vehicle, it's going to be cheaper to move around. But now this is where things get interesting, and let's see if it still makes sense after we compare the price of the cars. So the total price for the 320i is roughly $47,000. The total price for the long range is $64,000. And for the standard range, it's $52,460. So now your monthly payment was 0 down at 4% and 6 years. For the BMW is $733 a month. For the long range, you're at $1,000 a month. And for the standard range, you're at $820 a month. So long range is $273 more expensive than the BMW, and the standard range is $87 more expensive than the 320i. So now we have to add our additional costs in. So you have insurance and maintenance per month. And I just got these averages off of a few websites online. So they might not be 100% accurate, but they're pretty close. So insurance per month on the BMW and the Model 3, I'm going to keep it the same at $183. And for maintenance per month, I'm going to do $65, which is the average I found online, and for the BMW, and $20 a month for the long range, and $20 a month for the standard range. So that gives you a total cost per month for the BMW, $1,193 a month. Total cost for the Tesla Model 3 long range, $1,283 a month. For the Tesla Model 3 standard range, $1,090 a month. So your breakdown versus the gas car, your Tesla Model 3 is $90 more expensive a month compared to your BMW, and your standard range is actually $103 cheaper than your BMW. So the loan that we had was 6 years, and after that 6 years, your total cost of ownership, including gas, maintenance, insurance costs, assuming that no other costs go up and they all stay the same, you're at $86,000 on the BMW 320i. On the long range, you're at $92,000, which is $6,426 more dollars than the BMW. And for the standard range, you're at $78,500, which is $7,437 cheaper than the BMW. So in this case, if you're comparing these two vehicles, it would make much more financial sense to go with the standard range than it would with the long range. Now, another thing to consider is once the vehicle is paid off after that 6 years, how much are you going to be saving a month and per year by going with the electric over the gas? So after you pay off the vehicle, your 320i is going to cost you $460 a month. Your long range is going to cost you $275 a month, and your standard range is $269. So after that 6 year period, you're saving $2,200 a month by going with a Tesla compared to a BMW. I'm sorry, $2,200 a year. Now, this additional years to recoup your cost of ownership, it's going to roughly take you 3 years to make back this $6,426. So you would need to keep the long-range Tesla for 9 years in order to break even if you're comparing it against the 320i. Now, for the standard range, you're already in the plus. You don't have any years to make up since the car is $7,437 cheaper over that 6 year period versus the BMW. Now, one thing that I should make clear is that this BMW 320i is your most basic model. I didn't do any, upgrades to it, any packages. So something to keep in mind too, that this price here is probably going to be a little bit higher from the BMW. So if we do change that price, the standard or the long range is actually going to be a lot closer in comparison. Maybe even sometimes, cheaper to go with the long range than a, fully loaded 320i. Another thing to consider is this electric cost. So 25 cents is being pretty conservative. I would say you should, especially at a supercharging station or a charging station in general, you're looking at 30 to 35 cents per kilowatt hour. So if I bump this up to 35 cents a kilowatt hour, and I come back down here, that long range is now $94,483 over that 6 year period. And that standard range is $80,000. So it's still cheaper than the 320i. However, the long range is now going to take you 4.5 years to recoup this $8,527 that you lost over that 6 year period. However, if I do start bumping up the gas, let's say, gas goes up to $6.50 a year here in California. Now we're looking at a price like this. So your BMW 320i is going to be much more expensive than your standard range, and it's going to be pretty close in price to your long range. So it's going to take you 1.5 years to recoup this extra money. But yeah, basically that's the financial breakdown. I wanted to make this video, relatively short. I don't want to go too crazy into details, but if you're thinking about going with an EV, these are some of the things that you want to consider. If you want this spreadsheet and to go ahead and throw your own numbers in there, just leave a comment down below. And if you got any kind of value out of this video, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.